Okay kids, this is the fourth recording on probability, and this is your teacher Salman. Now I've just discussed the idea of drawing marbles from a bag, and I want to discuss a few more examples from these kinds of questions. Now again, let's say that you are asked to draw two marbles at random without replacement, and the question says, what is the probability that both marbles are not blue? Okay, probably that both marbles are not blue. So the marbles that we have, a total of 30, that bag contains 10 blue marbles, and the marbles that are not blue, which are red and green, we can bunch them together and call them B dash or B complement, which stands for not blue, and those would be 20. The total number of marbles is 30. And the question says, what is the probability that both are not blue? So the first marble cannot be blue, and the second marble can also not be blue, and it's an AND condition. So the probability that the first is non-blue, that should be easy. We can see that there are 20 marbles that are not blue out of a total of 30. So the probability that the first is non-blue is 20 out of 30. And the probability that the second is non-blue is 19 out of 29. This is equal to 38 out of 87. So the probability that both marbles are not blue is equal to 38 out of 87. I want you to try the same technique and figure out the probability that both marbles are not red. Okay, I want you to think about this question and solve it, and I'll post the answer. I want you to pause the video and think about it, and then I'll post the answer, and you can check whether you have figured out the right answer. Okay, so the probability that the first marble is not red, how much is that? There are 5 red marbles, so non-red would be 25. So the first one, the probability that the first is not red is 25 out of 30, and the probability that the second one is not red is 24 out of 29, and this simplifies to 20 upon 29. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, now let's try another example. Let's say that the question says that you're drawing two marbles again at random without replacement from this group of marbles that we have here, and the question wants you to figure out the probability that you get at least one red. Now remember, you're drawing two marbles, and the question does not want you to figure out the probability of one red, exactly one red. It says that you need to figure out the probability of at least one red. Now if you think about this, if you break up your universe of marbles as marbles that are red, which are 5, and marbles that are non-red, which are 25, for a total of 30 marbles, when you draw these two marbles from a bag which can be divided as red and non-red, there are 4 possible outcomes. It's possible that the first one is red and the second one is also red. It's possible that the first one is red and the second one is non-red. It is possible that the first one's non-red and the second one is red. It's possible that the first one is non-red and the second one is also non-red. Now, from the requirement of the question was that you have to draw at least one red. This last outcome is not acceptable to us, so we're going to ignore this, and we'll figure out the probability of the first 3 combinations that are acceptable to us. So the probability of the first combination, which is the first one is red and the second is also red, is 5 out of 30 into 4 out of 29, which is equal to 2 out of 87. The probability that the probability of getting the second combination is 5 out of 30 for the first marble being red, and the probability that the second marble is non-red is going to be 25, because you'll have 25 non-red marbles, and the total number of marbles would have gone down to 29, and this is equal to 25 upon 174. Similarly, for the third situation, which is also acceptable to us, the first one is non-red, that's 25 out of 30, and the second marble is red, which is 5 out of 29, and this is also equal to 25 out of 174. So there are three ways that you can make this happen. So you have to add up these three possibilities: 2 out of 87 plus 25 out of 174 plus 25 out of 174. Okay, and this is equal to 9 upon 29. So this is the probability that you will get at least one red, 9 out of 29. Now, I hope this is clear to you, but you can also see that this is a pretty lengthy way of solving this question. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out a shorter way of doing this question. So the question said, what is the probability that you get at least one red? Now we saw there were four ways of getting this, and these three are acceptable, and this is the only situation that is not acceptable. So if I can figure out the probability of this event and subtract it from 1, I should be able to figure out the probability of getting at least one red. Now this event is the probability that both marbles are not red. So the probability that the first marble is not red would be 25 out of 30, and the probability that the second marble is not red would be 24 out of 29. And if you solve this, you should get 20 upon 29. So there's a 20 out of 29 chance that the marbles that you draw will both be non-red. So therefore the probability of getting at least one red will be 1 minus 20 upon 29. Let me just right, and this will be equal to 9 upon 29, same as this. So as you can see, this is actually a much faster way of getting this question. So therefore I want you to know this for a fact, that the probability of at least one red could be easily found by finding the probability of no red marbles and subtracting it from 1. So this is equal to 1 minus the probability of getting no red marbles. And we also can generally write this as the probability of at least one success is equal to 1 minus the probability of no success. And this is used commonly in a lot of questions related to probability. So with the same data and with the same question requiring you to draw two marbles without replacement, I want you to find the probability that at least one marble is blue. I want you to think about this question and stop the video here for a little while, solve it on your own, and then play it back to see whether you have gotten the right answer or not. So the question is, what is the probability that at least one marble is blue? And I hope that you've figured out that the way to do this question faster would be to first find the probability that both marbles are blue. Okay. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. The first step would be to find the probability that both marbles are not blue. Okay. So the probability that both are not blue, that means blue dash and blue dash, The number of blue marbles is 10, so the number of non-blue marbles would be 20. So 20 out of 30 is the chance that the first one is not blue, and 19 out of 29 would be the chance that the second one is not blue. So when you multiply them, your value is going to be 38 out of 87. So this is the probability that both marbles are not blue. So therefore, the probability that we have at least one blue is going to be equal to 1 minus 38 upon 87, which is equal to 49 upon 87. Okay, I hope you've gotten this as the right answer. Great. I'll see you in the next video.